Ever heard of Alexander the Great? Come on, not everyone gets the Great as part of their name. Maybe if he was alive today, he'd be Alexander the Goat, the greatest of all time, like LeBron James, Tom Brady, Tiger Woods, or Serena Williams. But none of them traded in their last names for the Great. So how did Alexander get to be known as the Great? By building the largest empire the world had ever seen. How do you do that? Step 1. Have an ambitious military leader for a dad. Alexander's dad, Philip II of Macedonia, united the tribes of Macedonia and conquered much of Greece. He had Alexander tutored by the Greek philosopher Aristotle and had him ruling the country at age 16 while Philip was off fighting. Alexander put down several rebellions and joined his dad at age 18 to defeat Athens and Thebes. Philip also gave Alexander the untamable horse that Alexander tamed, named Bucephalus, and rode into battle when he fought. Step 2. Have a plan, or finish your dad's plan. Alexander became king of Macedonia at age 20 after his dad was assassinated. Alexander united Greece and Macedonia and marched his combined army east to fight the Persians, a common enemy. You remember the Persian Wars, right? Step 3 to being great? Never lose a battle. Alexander conquered lands from Greece to India, Persia to Egypt, and he never lost a battle. He was a military genius, and his tactics are still studied in military academies today. Step 4. Be feared, but be fair. Alexander and his armies were feared. Cities that fought against him were destroyed, burned to the ground, and the people were sold as slaves. Cities that welcomed him as their ruler were allowed to keep their own government, religion, and customs, and were welcomed into his empire. Would you fight against him? Just ask Darius III of Persia how resisting Alexander went. Step 5. Have a plan to hold your empire together. In 10 years, Alexander had created a massive empire, and tougher than creating it was keeping it. This is where Alexander's brilliance shined. First, he spread Greek culture throughout his empire. He built Greek-like cities with marketplaces, temples, and theaters. He brought in Greek settlers who brought Greek laws, art, and literature. He made Greek the official language of the government. Greeks married the locals and cultures merged. He founded over 20 cities, most of them named after himself. Next, he used religion to unify his empire. He brought Greek religion with him, but he honored the Egyptian and Persian gods. He visited oracles, made sacrifices, and built temples to these gods, and gained the people's respect. In addition, Alexander promoted the idea that he was a god. He wore a crown with horns like an Egyptian god, and required the Greeks to accept him as the son of Zeus. Lastly, Alexander showed respect for the cultures he conquered. He adopted Persia's system of government, but kept control of the army and taxes. He wore their clothes, ate their food, worshipped their gods. He encouraged marriage between the people. He even married the defeated Darius III's daughter. Historians feel that Alexander really considered the people he conquered equal to the Greeks and Macedonians. By working with the people instead of changing them, he united his empire and kept the people loyal to him. Alexander the Great was poised to conquer the world, but after 10 years of military campaigns, his soldiers wanted to go home to their families. Alexander reluctantly turned back and returned to Babylon, where he died at the age of 33. Some say he was poisoned, but others say he died of a fever. Alexander left no heir to rule his empire, and as soon as he died, it began to fall apart. His generals battled to control the empire and eventually split it into 3 kingdoms. So why is Alexander the Great the greatest of all time? He created and ruled one of the largest empires. In 10 years, he conquered most of the known world. He was a military genius who never lost a battle, even against larger forces. He ruled with force and acceptance of other cultures. He spread Greek ideas of democracy, culture, and literature across his empire. And if he was here today, he'd probably tell you he's the GOAT. After all, he called himself the son of Zeus.